And what county is that in?
It's in Palm Beach County.
In the state of Florida?
Yes.
And did you play football in high school?
Yes, I did.
What position did you play?
I played defensive tackle and offensive tackle as well.
When did you meet Bryan Pata?
So we first met in the summer of 2002 at the Miami Hurricanes football camp, the Larry Coker football camp. That's the first time we met.
Was this a football camp for people who had committed to the University of Miami?
No, it was just any recruit that they were interested in. They pretty much sent an invite out, and those people would end up attending the camp. And the coaches are pretty much hands-on, working out with them. See how they do.
Had you committed to the University of Miami at that time?
Yes, I was committed in February of 2002.
Did you become friends with Bryan Pata?
Yes, I did.
Did you encourage him to come to the University of Miami?
Yes, I did.
What year did you start at the University of Miami?
It was 2003.
Did Bryan Pata start in the same class as you?
Yes, he did.
Now, after your football career ended, what sort of career path did you take? What is your current occupation?
Well, initially I went into the school district. I was a case manager, working with at-risk youth and then doing a lot of mentorship. And then in 2016, I got hired by the Delaware Beach Police Department and been in law enforcement since then, so about approximately 8 years.
So now, going back to your time at the University of Miami, did you know someone by the name of Rashaun Jones?
Yes.
And how did you first meet Rashaun Jones?
He was one of the guys who came in the 2004 class, enrollees.
And do you see him in the courtroom here today?
Yes, sir.
Can you please identify him by an article of clothing he's wearing?
The orange shirt.
Okay, and you're gesturing over towards the person seated next to defense counsel.
Yes.
So please let the record reflect that the witness has identified the defendant. So you met him when he first began practicing with the team in the summer of 2004?
Yes, most of us come in and enroll in the summer, or some may come in the winter time, but yeah, normally right before the season starts.
During the summer football camp or summer football time, did the players live in the dorms?
Yes, we did.
Was there an incident that occurred in the dorms involving Bryan and Rashaun in the summer of 2004?
Yes.
Can you tell us what you remember about that incident?
Okay, Bryan, myself, and Eric Moncro were all friends. We ended up walking up the stairway to head towards Eric's room, and as we got through the stairway to get on that floor, we saw Rashaun leaving out of Eric's room. So we ended up pretty much asking him, like, what's going on? Like, why are you coming out of the room? And he just pretty much was like, nothing's going on, or whatever. So then he kind of went back in the room with us, and Bryan was questioning him. It was really light, honestly, initially. Like, we all were just kind of joking about it initially, like, what were you doing? Just more so suspicious, but just trying to gauge, like, what went on.
Was it odd for Rashaun or anyone to be in someone else's room?
Not necessarily, because we do have suite mates. Not sure who the suite mate was at that time for Eric. However, just because of the fact that it was Eric's room, and Eric was with us, and he was unaware. That's what kind of drew the suspicion.
Were the three of you said that Eric and Bryan and you were very close? Were you guys close friends with Rashaun?
We were friends with them for sure. I would say we were like close. Like, obviously, we all played the same positions, the D-line. Rashaun was a defensive back, so he probably was more close with a lot of the defensive backs. But yeah, we're all cool. We're all friends.
And at that time, was he new to the team?
Yes, he was.
So if you can tell us what happened inside Eric's room.
So as like I said initially, we were just asking the questions and just like Eric's pretty much like always like joking and laughing, but as we continue to kind of pick and just try to see what were you really doing, eventually Rashaun ended up getting agitated by how Bryan continued bottom of it pretty much, and then Rashaun was trying to walk out of the room, but he was trying to get through him. And then that's when they both kind of engaged, like Bryan grabbed him, and then, obviously they both pretty much grabbed each other, and then Bryan ended up punching him. And that's when me and Eric kind of like looked at each other like, whoa, like that escalated quick. And I guess the whole commotion ended up occurring, and we ran over there to just break it up. He came out of the room, opened the door to kind of see what was going on, and then that's when Rashaun was getting up because they fell on the bed. So it led from them standing to being on the bed, and then they got up. Rashaun was walking out, and Rashaun turned to Bryan and told him, he was like, you might as well call your Zoes and clip up.
Okay, so I just want to go back a little bit. Where was Bryan's position when you all were standing inside the bedroom, or the dorm room?
So we were right inside of the door. Bryan was probably maybe like two or three steps in front of the door, but angled towards where the bed is. And then me and Eric were pretty much on the side of him, just like pretty much hanging by like I think I was on the right side, so it was near the bathroom suite, and then Eric was closer. I think that's the closet, but he was on the left hand side.
So when we talk about a suite, are the two one-room dorm rooms, or one-bedroom dorm rooms, connected by a bathroom?
Yes, it is.
Do you remember if that door was open and if anyone was in another room?
No.
Was it possible for Rashaun to walk around Bryan without Bryan moving? Walk out the door?
It would have been close because of where I was. As far as like.
So you walk around and then open the door and just leave.
Yeah, like he would have been able to, but it obviously would have been like a tight squeeze because we both were kind of like left and right to him, just kind of hanging there. So we're bigger guys, so I'm just imagining like from his perspective, he would have probably been tight going through.
And you and Eric were able to break up the fight.
Yes.
Now, you said there was a lot of commotion.
Yes, ma'am.
And as Rashaun was walking out of the room, what did he say?
He turned to Bryan and said, you might as well call your Zoes and clip up.
What's a Zoe?
I'm not fully, knowledgeable of exactly where it came from, but a lot of people, especially more modern time, they kind of reference a Zoe as, a Haitian, somebody who's of Haitian descent.
Is Bryan of Haitian descent?
Yes, he is.
How did you and Eric react when Rashaun made this statement?
We both were pretty much like, whoa, like it already, obviously, like I said, it went from kind of casual to escalated to hearing that comment. It was like, we really going there with it, and then obviously he left the room. Bryan then left the room too. I went with Bryan, just kind of like talking down to just kind of, see where his mind was at and, see if there's anything I can do to kind of de-escalate the situation.
Did Bryan have a gun on him when he was in Eric's room?
No, he didn't.
Was Bryan upset by the threat Rashaun made?
Yes, he was.
Did Bryan end up staying in the dorm that night?
No, he didn't.
And was that because of the threat and fight that had happened?
Yes. So when when I was obviously talking to him and just trying to, get him calmed down or what have you, I made a phone call, reached out to one of my friends that was off campus, asked her if she would be, gracious enough to let him stay over there just to kind of let things cool off because I obviously didn't want anything to escalate any further, So she said yes, and then I told him, where she lived. He went over there and stayed over there that night.
So after this altercation between Rashaun and Bryan, did summer workouts continue as normal?
Yes, it did.
Was there any animosity when they were in the locker room?
No, because we where the D-line locker room area was is closer to like the bathrooms, and the DBs were over to the furthest end. So it wasn't like there was always time where you would see them kind of like as far as the defensive backs come into that area of the locker room. So they didn't intentionally have issues with each other at any point in time.
They didn't have to interact.
Right, they didn't have to interact, correct.
Now, that fall, did you have any other incidents with Rashaun? So the fall of 2004.
Yes.
And in the fall, where were you living?
I was living in the Mahoney Pearson dorm room, and at that time I was moved over to the Mahoney side, in a single bedroom.
And where did the true freshman live?
The true freshmen? It was in the Mahoney Pearson, but they're pretty much scattered, like either side, Mahoney side or Pearson side.
Do you know if Rashaun Jones lived in the dorm? In that same dorm?
Yes, he did.
And was his room close to yours?
Not on the same floor, but I don't recall as far as, where exactly, what room or what floor.
Can you tell us about the incident that occurred?
Yeah, so we were inside of a mutual friend's room in the dorm. Her name is Patricia, and me and Rashaun was in there just kind of like hanging, and then we ended up like playing around, something we call like slap boxing, which is pretty much open hands, just playing, and you see who can get connect on who. And he was able to swipe at me. I ended up connecting and catching him like pretty much on his chin and what have you. And then he made a comment. He was just like, "All right, I'm gonna be right back," like that. And I said, "All right, whatever," like that. So again, not thinking anything of it, and pretty much.
Let me just pause you right there. Let's just go back a little bit.
Okay.
Who was in that dorm room that day?
It was me, Rashaun, and Patricia Dunup. I think that's how you say it.
And whose room was it?
It was Patricia's room.
What was Patricia doing at the time?
She was straightening up her room, like spreading her bed, just getting things organized, and we were just in there hanging with her, essentially.
Was it common either among football players or amongst like your friends or people in the dorm to slap box?
Yes, often, very much so.
Is slap box meant to hurt anyone?
Yeah, but not. It can. But that's something that can escalate, obviously. But it's not meant for us to do that. Just more something fun to do to kind of see whose hands are faster or whatever. And that's pretty much how they kind of know about it.
So it's not meant to turn into like a full-on fist fight?
No, not at all.
And by hurt someone, you mean like slap someone?
Yes.
And is the purpose of slap boxing to connect with the other person?
Yes.
So you're trying to avoid getting a slap?
Yes.
Okay. So, and what did Rashaun say to you after you connected with his chin?
He said, "All right, I got something for you."
And what did he do?
He ended up leaving the room, and then he came back momentarily. When he came back, I pretty much said, "I'm like, ready for some more," pretty much, kind of like. And he ended up brandishing a gun and pointing it towards me.
Did he say anything when he pointed the gun?
No, he didn't say a word.
Where was Patricia?
She was to the right side of me, so she was still over here by her bed, sort of, I guess, like, spreading her bed or whatever.
Did you say anything when he pointed the gun at you?
I was frightened, and I remember saying, "What are you doing?" like that, and I kind of raised my hand, like to go up towards my face.
And what did Rashaun do when he did that?
At that moment, he ended up pulling the gun back down and putting it back into his pocket.
Did he say anything else?
He said, "Man, I'm just playing," like that.
Did you think he was playing?
No, at that time, I was not there.
And did he stay in the room right then?
Yeah, it was kind of like it got really awkward, obviously, but it was quiet, and then they ended up like kind of talking, and I ended up leaving, and he left, and then going to, I guess he ended up going to his room or what have you.
Did you talk to Patricia about Rashaun having a gun?
No, No, not at all.
Did you talk to her later
No.
about whether she saw him point the gun?
No, not at all.
Do you think she saw him point the gun at you?
No, because I feel like if she did, she would have, made an outburst. She kind of was one of those friends that was like, kind of like a motherly friend, always trying to give advice, always trying to, make us do the right thing kind of thing. So I don't think she saw it, she would have reacted, like, what, you said something.
Now, going specifically to what you remember about the gun, can you describe to us what you remember the gun looking like?
Yes.
What did it look like?
Okay, so it was a black revolver. And the only reason why I remember it was the revolver, because just kind of giving you some context,
Objection, Your Honor. No question pending.
Oh. Can you tell us how you knew it was a revolver?
I used to, look at like westerns. My brother used to watch westerns all the time, so I was, obviously knowing that it was a revolver because of the cylinder of the gun being there versus it actually having like a magazine and all that. So I knew it was a revolver. Didn't know at that time what the style of gun it is, but just being like in law enforcement and kind of seeing how it was smaller. It was a black gun, like it was a shorter barrel.
Objection, Your Honor. Narrative here.
Oh. You can continue telling
Okay.
us, describing the gun.
It was a shorter barrel, gun, black gun. Like I said, that you can see the cylinder and right there in the center area, and that was pretty much the description of it.
Had you ever seen a gun before that day in person?
No.
Did it leave an impression on you?
Oh yes, it did.
So you told us earlier that you've now worked in law enforcement for about 8 years.
Yes.
Looking back now, do you know what kind of gun it was?
It would be hard to state like which exact gun it was. I know it was a smaller caliber, like a 22 or 38, but it definitely, you can't just kind of look at a gun and kind of, make that determination, even if I was a gun expert.
So what exactly can you tell us about the gun that you
It was just a smaller caliber gun, just very small caliber gun, so that's why.
And it was a revolver?
Yes, it was a revolver.
Now, moving on to, I guess, the following school year, the fall of 2005, or between that incident, and you said that was in the fall of 2004 when he pointed the gun at you?
Yes, it was in the fall.
Do you have any other incidents or interactions with Rashaun out of the ordinary football team interactions
That year?
that year?
In 2004?
Yes.
No.
And now going on to 2005, did you have any incidents with Rashaun that year?
Yes, there was another incident that occurred in the fall of 2005.
Was that November of 2005?
Yes, approximately November.
And can you tell us where this incident occurred?
It occurred in the locker room right before the team pretty much comes inside, and we end up getting everything prepared for us to go to our meetings prior to starting practice.
And what happened that day?
I went over to the DD section to confront Rashaun in reference to some comments that were allegedly made from him to my girlfriend.
Did Bryan go with you?
Yeah, he was behind me.
And what happened when you confronted him?
So I went over there. I was telling him pretty much like exactly what she told me he stated to her, giving them the two comments that she stated that he made, and his response was pretty much insensitive in my opinion. He said, "Man, I do that to everybody, girl," and I said, "Everybody's not my girl." And I told him, I said, we're supposed to be brothers, we're a team, what have you, and that ain't cool, pretty much. And then he made a gesture, and he was just like, "Well, you just have to do what you have to do," and he punched his hands reacted in a, obviously more of an emotional way, and I ended up punching him, and the altercation ensued, and then they broke it up pretty quickly.
After the fight, did you have to speak to any coaches, or did you just go on to practice as normal?
No, I spoke with Coach Swayze, and Coach Drake was also in the room as well. So it was this strength and conditioning coaches.
Was that the end of the altercation?
Yes, it was.
Did anything else happen that day?
So after I spoke with the coaches, and obviously I let them know I apologize for my actions, what have you, and I walked back inside of the locker room, and at that time everybody was already into the meetings. So when I walked in, Rashaun was coming out of the training room, and in my mind I was, God, here we go. Like, I didn't know what to expect, what was going to happen, what have you. And then he ended up seeing me, obviously, because we're literally in the same pathway, but he just coming from a different angle, different door. So we were coming that way, and then he made the right turn and go back to his locker. And I was just watching to see what he was doing, and he went and grabbed his phone, and he went immediately out of there. But the way he left out was kind of, suspicious to me. So when he left out of the locker room, I ended up going outside the locker room to the hallway of the HEC, and one of the student athletes that was passing by, a female, was there, and she gave me a hug, and I was like, hey, how you doing? And then she ended up stating to me, like, oh, nothing much, how are you? And I said, hey, can you do me a favor real quick? And I said, go over there and go outside, because Rashaun was outside by this time, like outside of the HEC. And I said, just go by there and just say, hi to him or whatever, to Rashaun, and just, kind of see if you hear him saying anything or what have you. And then she said, oh yeah, no problem. And then that's when she walked outside. Obviously, I was still inside. So then I went into the training room, came back out. She ended up being in that area. And I asked her, like, hey, did you hear anything? Did you hear him say anything? And she was like,
Objection, Your Honor, hearsay.
Your Honor, it's relevant to the time frame of these threats, not because this hearsay statement. The state's not seeking to admit this hearsay statement, but it's relevant to the other statements that have been made for the ongoing threats and the language of this statement.
As to the time frame, okay?
Your Honor, we
This is
object.
not offered for the truth of the matter asserted.
We object, Your Honor.
Okay.
There's no exception to the hearsay rule on this.
She said not offered for the truth of the matter asserted.
What is it? How? It goes to the very heart of it.
She just finished saying
Can we
that
go
it's
sidebar, Your Honor?
not to the statement, it's to the time frame and to the other threats.
Can we go to sidebar, Your Honor?
No, not necessary, go ahead.
Your Honor, we object to this also, because this is not involving the victim, it is involving this witness.
It's involving the defendant.
It involves the defendant with this witness, not with the victim. And it's hearsay.
Okay, but they need to establish the reliability of these statements, so I'm allowing it.
Your Honor, I'd like to have access to the record on this.
We may after we finish, go ahead.
Mr. Howell, what did she come back and tell you?
so she just came back and she was just like, I don't know if that meant, but he stated that, oh, they tried me, we're going to have to clip up.
Was clip up the same term he'd used the year before?
Yes, when he was speaking to Bryan.
Now, why didn't you go outside?
Because I was not trying to confront him at all. I was making sure that like I said, when I spoke with the coaches, I already kind of knew that I, kind of acted out of character in a sense, so it wasn't anything more that I was, seeking in that case.
And this was in November of 2005?
This was.
Did you ultimately transfer out of the University of Miami?
This was.
And when did you transfer?
Officially, I transferred in March of 2006.
Fair to say that you were not on the football team in fall of 2006?
Yes, that's correct.
All right, thank you. No further questions.
Okay, Ross?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Howell.
Afternoon.
You indicated that you were on the University of Miami's football team during the relevant period of time that we're here for today. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And that you know my client, Mr. Rashaun Jones.
Yes, ma'am.
Correct? You also knew Mr. Bryan Patterson. Is that correct? Pata.
Yes, ma'am.
Correct. You testified, and I want to go incident by incident on this, right?
Okay.
And the first incident that you talked about was in the summer of 2004, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And in that incident, you said that you saw Mr. Jones leaving Mr. Monker's room,
Yes.
correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And you were walking with them.
Walking with Brian and Eric. Yes.
What time of night was that?
I can't recall.
Was it after midnight?
I don't recall.
It was late, wasn't it?
I'm not sure.
You lived in that dorm,
Yes, I lived in a dorm, but I wasn't sure.
but you weren't going to your room.
Correct.
You were going to Mr.
We were
Monker's
going to
room.
Monker's room.
And you also had football practice the next morning. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
But you weren't concerned that you had an early morning football practice,
No, not at all.
but you were going to visit at someone else's room
Correct.
late night.
Yes, ma'am.
And at the time, you didn't know why Mr. Jones was in the room, did you?
No, not at all.
You came to find out that he didn't steal anything out of the room, did you?
Correct.
And you also came to find out that Mr. Jones had nothing to hide. He actually came back to the room, didn't he?
Yes, he came back to the room.
And while he was in that room, and he was being questioned by 3 of the football players, you, Mr. Monker, and Mr. Pata, correct?
It was Brian that was the person that was actually speaking to him.
But so when you said we, you meant Brian was the only one that was questioning him?
Yeah, when we were initially walking up, we were like, what you doing? Like, where were you coming from?
So
So
the
as
we-
we got in there, it was more Brian speaking to him, and we were kind of just listening, hearing what's going on. Like I said, Eric.
I want to be clear. When you said we,
Wait,
did you mean
Wait,
Mr.
there's an
Pata?
objection.
If we can allow the witness to answer the question,
Yes, sustain.
it's argumentative.
Okay.
When you said we, did you mean Bryan Pata?
I said, yes, Brian was the initial person, or the primary person, I would say, that was asking questions.
And it was not Bryan Pata's room.
No, it was not. It was Eric's room.
Mr. Jones initially started answering questions.
Yes.
He was giving his answers.
Yes, it was.
He actually told why he was in that room, didn't he?
I don't recall.
You don't recall
I
what
don't
he
recall
said?
what he stated, but he did answer the questions. He was answering and responding to Brian.
Do you recall whether or not he stated why he was in that room?
I don't recall.
You don't recall that?
No, no.
Mr. Powell was not satisfied with his answer, was he?
No, based on what he was saying, that Brian.
So what was he saying?
Based on the response that Rashaun had, Brian didn't believe it, and we kind of, like I said, Eric was there, I was there. We kind of were like, that doesn't sound correct. Or it sounded fishy, sounded suspicious, basically.
You don't recall what he said, but you say that what he said sounded suspicious
Correct.
and fishy,
At that time, yes.
but you can't tell this court what he said.
No, I cannot.
So we don't have an independence of what he said to see if it sounded suspicious or fishy. Only your interpretation of it. Is that correct?
Objection, this is argumentative and outside the
Sustain, I think it's asked and answered. Go ahead.
It was Bryan Pata who prevented Mr. Jones from leaving the room. Isn't that correct?
We used to ask them, answer the questions.
Your Honor, I'm going to ask that you ask the witness to answer the question first, and if he needs to explain,
No, he hasn't been able to explain. He said 2 words in the sentence which I thought sounded like he was going to explain. So let's let him answer.
I would ask that he answer my question and then explain it. It's a yes or no. And then you can
He doesn't
explain.
have to say yes or no and then answer. I'm gonna allow him to answer to the best of his ability. You can continue.
Then I want an answer to my question, Your Honor.
Okay, then why don't you ask one and give him an opportunity to answer it, and then you'll get the answer. Thank you.
May I ask the
Okay.
question again, please?
It was Bryan Pata who prevented my client from leaving the room. Is that correct?
So, as I was saying, as he was asking the questions and the response from Rashaun was not something of us like believing, like of us believing it. Rashaun ended up getting agitated and he attempted to leave the room, and that's when Bryan put his hands there and they both grabbed each other, pulled back. Bryan ended up punching him.
This is exactly what I'm talking about, Your Honor. I still don't have an answer to my question.
I understood.
Did Bryan Pata, I don't, and I'm asking the question, Your Honor.
I understand, but.
So did Bryan Pata
Hang
prevent you from
on a
leaving
second,
the
hang on
room?
a second. I keep hearing you interrupting both the witness and the court. So please, let's take it a step down, ask a question, give everyone an opportunity, and then I'm not interrupting you when you're making your objections. Just let me know what your objection is, and then give me a chance to answer it.
My objection, Your Honor, is non-responsive. I've asked a question that I have not gotten an answer to.
Okay. Overruled, but you can keep asking questions.
Did Bryan Pata prevent Mr. Jones from leaving the room, sir?
Overruled, I'm all right.
You can answer the question.
Yeah, ultimately, he ended up stopping.
Thank you. And when Mr. Jones continued to try to leave the room, it was Bryan Pata who punched Mr. Jones. Isn't that correct?
After they engaged, Bryan punched him.
And it was Mr. Pata who got on top of Mr. Jones on the bed. Isn't that correct?
They both were on the bed, yes.
And Mr. Pata was on top of Mr. Jones. Isn't that correct?
Yes.
And Mr. Pata head-butted Mr. Jones. Isn't that correct?
Yes, I saw that.
And you indicated that you were not familiar with the term Zoe.
I'm familiar with the term Zoe, but not like the origin of the word Zoe, which is what I stated earlier.
So,
It's commonly used to reference Haitian descent, people of Haitian descent.
where'd you get that information from?
Common knowledge,
Common knowledge?
yes ma'am.
Are you familiar with Zoe Pound?
I've heard of Zoe, yes ma'am.
And are you familiar with the fact that the Zoe Pound is a gang?
I'm familiar.
And are you familiar with the fact that the Zoe Pound is responsible or is accused of doing murders in Miami?
Not familiar.
So you indicated what Mr. Jones said in very detailed, specific language. What did Mr. Pata say
At what point?
at the point when he headbutted him and Mr. Jones was able to pull himself away?
I didn't hear him say anything.
So it's your testimony that Mr. Pata didn't say anything in that context of the room?
As I mentioned before, they were having an altercation. It was on the bed. I looked over at Eric. We both were shocked. We ran over there to try to break it up immediately. So it wasn't anything that I recalled in the middle of the altercation. What I stated was what was said after the altercation, after they were separated, after everybody was already in the room. It was a big commotion.
So after they were separated, what did Mr. Pata say?
When Rashaun made the statement, Pata turned around and said, "What?" like that. And then as Rashaun left the room, Bryan left the room, I followed him.
So it's your testimony that the only words that Mr. Pata, who was angry, upset, so much so that he punched Mr. Jones, headbutted him on the bed, said, "What?" And that was the only words he used in that whole altercation.
Yes, ma'am.
the coaching staff, did you?
No, ma'am.
You didn't report it to the police, did you?
No, ma'am.
You indicated that your knowledge of guns came from your brother's love of watching Western movies, and I would assume that you were watching the Western movies with him.
I said that I knew of guns from Westerns. My knowledge of guns came from my experience in law enforcement.
So the first time that you saw a gun, it's my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, was when you were watching it on Westerns.
Yeah, the first time I saw it on
And so-
PBS.
And you knew of the revolver because of what you saw on the Westerns.
Yes, based on what the Westerns, yes.
Is there any Western that you watched that said clip up?
No. Ma'am.
So, did you have a knowledge of what the term clip up meant?
Yes, I had a knowledge of that.
And where did that knowledge come from?
Music, common knowledge again, culture.
You knew Mr. Pata had weapons.
Yes, ma'am.
In fact, he had an AK-47.
I never saw that he had a.
Objection.
Did you see any weapons that he had? I'm sorry.
Outside scope of direct for this
Sustained.
situation.
Did you see any weapons that he had?
Sustained.
That was a different question, but,
That was the same exact word for word question. She said outside the scope.
oh, I thought you were objecting to the AK-47. I apologize, Your Honor. I want to call your attention to this incident that happened. I want to be clear. This was the summer of 2004, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So this was 2 years prior to the murder.
Yes, ma'am. Possibly.
And in 2006, were you contacted by detectives in reference to the murder?
Yes, ma'am.
And at that time, you never told them in 2006 or 2007 about this incident that happened in the dorm room, did you?
No, I don't recall that telling them about.
Is there anything that would refresh your recollection whether or not you told the detectives anything about this?
Objection and proper impeachment.
Sustained.
Do you recall or not?
I don't believe I told them.
I want to talk about what you called the second incident. You were in the dorm room with Patricia Duneff. You testified that this began as a friendly game of slapboxing, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Culture. People who slapbox with each other are pretty close, generally. Isn't that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Were you that close to Mr. Jones ever?
I mean, I look at him as a friend, a teammate. I never had any issues with him. He was cool.
Were you close?
I was close to Brian, Eric, a few people, so no, we weren't close. We didn't hang out every day, if that's what you're asking. With Brian, I was obviously hanging out with him often. I was one of my best friends.
But you didn't do that with Mr. Jones, did you?
No, no.
Okay, and so you're saying that you slapboxed with Mr. Jones.
Yes, ma'am.
And you said that it started off with both of you laughing.
Yeah, we just playing around.
And Miss Duneff was in the room.
Yes, she was.
And this is a dorm room, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
About 10 feet by 10 feet.
I don't know
Well,
the
then
measurements.
I think your testimony was that she was to the right of you.
Yes, she was.
So she was right there by you.
In the room, yes, to the right of me.
And you said that when you got the best of Mr. Jones, that Mr. Jones came back and he pointed a gun at you.
Yes, ma'am.
But you didn't know what kind of gun it was because at that time you didn't know you had not seen a gun before.
I didn't know, like, type of style of gun or make and model of the gun.
And you say that when he pointed this gun at you, your testimony, I believe, today was that he put it back in his pocket.
Yeah, he concealed it.
You don't know where he put it. Isn't that correct?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Again, at that time, I was more frightened than anything, so I wasn't too sure. I was just glad that it was now no longer like pointed at me.
In fact, you gave a sworn statement in reference to this. Isn't that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And in that sworn statement, you said that
Objection, proper impeachment.
Listen,
how far was the gun from you?
I'd say approximately about 2 arms lengths.
And it's your testimony that when this happened, Ms. Dunac didn't see it and didn't hear it.
She didn't see it, didn't hear it. I don't know if she heard it. Yeah.
But she never said anything to you.
Correct.
And the motherly type figure that she was, she would have said something that y'all need to do better or y'all need to stop this or something.
If she would have saw it, yes.
So that led you to believe that she did not see or hear it.
Correct.
You didn't report that to the coaches, did you?
No, I didn't.
And you didn't report that to the University of Miami Police Department either, did you?
Not at all.
In fact, the first time that you disclosed this was 17 years later.
Disclosed it to who?
I believe it was the Detective Segovia. And that was in 2021, correct?
I don't recall.
I'm sorry?
I don't recall what year it was, but yes, I spoke with Detective Segovia and informed him of the incident.
Do you remember where you were when you disclosed it?
We met multiple times, I'm not sure what I did.
Do you remember meeting with him at your workplace?
Yes, I recall him coming to the department, yes.
And had you met with him before that?
I can't recall. Like I said, this has been, a long time, so it's been many detectives. I can't remember exactly when Detective Segovia first time.
Okay, so it is your testimony that you could have disclosed this prior to the 17 years?
I'm stating that I met with Detective Segovia. He spoke to me and asked me about the incidents, and I informed him of those incidents.
So my question to you, sir,
Yes, ma'am.
is did you reveal it to anyone? Is your testimony that you revealed this to any detective prior to the 17 years that passed since the murder and when this came out?
Yes, ma'am.
Who did you reveal it to?
I don't know the detective's name.
When did you reveal it?
I'm not sure. Every one of these statements has been sworn statements, correct? So all of this is documented.
So would looking at your sworn statement help you with the date that you told Detective Segovia about it?
Of course.
May I approach you on? I want you to take a look at it, and once you looked at it and you sufficiently refresh your recollection, then in 2006, and you told Detective Segovia about this in a sworn statement in 2021. Is that correct, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
You said that you were close to Eric Monker, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
You never told him about that incident, did you?
Yes, he knew about it. He knew about it.
Mr. Monker knew about the gun incident
At some point in time, yeah.
before you talked about it with Detective Segovia?
No, not before. No,
So my
no.
question,
Yes,
let me,
okay.
maybe I was confusing.
Okay.
At the time of the incident, you didn't tell Eric Monker about it, did you?
No, not yet.
In fact, you didn't tell anyone about it. Is that correct?
No, I didn't.
I just want to be very clear too. When you said in the first incident that you went outside when Mr. Pata was outside on the phone because you wanted him not to be at the dorm or you wanted him to stay overnight with your friend Erica,
Yeah, I was on the phone. Yeah.
you called Erica.
Yes, I know.
Okay. You're saying that Mr. Pata was not on the phone?
I don't know if he was on the phone. I'm referencing what I did. I was making calls to get him somewhere to stay.
At that time, Mr. Pata lived off campus, isn't that correct?
I don't recall. I'm sure he did. Yes.
And now, I want to call your attention to what you classified as the third incident.
Okay.
You testified that there was a fight between you and Mr. Jones in the locker room, correct? You said that he was insensitive when you approached him about comments that had been made to your girlfriend at the time.
Yes, ma'am.
It was you that approached him.
Yes, ma'am.
It was you that hit him.
Yes, ma'am.
It was you that was called into the coach's office.
I believe so.
You don't know whether or
Yeah, I
not?
wasn't sure if I went there or they called for me to go there. I don't recall.
But it was the coaches that talked with you about this incident, is that correct?
I brought it up from what just happened at that time.
And at the time, you took Mr. Pata along with you.
No, I didn't take him along with me.
Well, he went along with you.
Yes, ma'am.
So it was the two of you confronting Mr. Jones.
No, it was just me.
But Mr. Pata was there.
Yes, he was there.
He was there, and he's your good friend.
Yes, ma'am.
He's your close friend.
Yes, ma'am.
And you said that after you left the coach's office, you saw Mr. Pata when he was coming out of the training room. I'm sorry, you saw Mr. Jones when he was coming out of the training room. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
He was holding ice on his jaw,
Yes, yeah, ice pack.
and that's where you had hit him.
Yes, ma'am.
And you didn't know what was going to happen, you said, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
But Mr. Jones never approached you, did he?
Correct.
He didn't say a word to you, did he?
Correct.
He went and got his phone, didn't he?
Yes, ma'am.
And he left out of the center, didn't he?
Yes, ma'am.
He didn't bother you.
Yes, ma'am.
Is that he bothered you?
They
Or,
did it. They didn't bother me.
and he went on about his business.
Yes.
You followed him, didn't you?
I went outside the locker room.
And then you sent someone to eavesdrop on him, didn't you?
Yes, ma'am.
And you didn't think that was inappropriate?
Objection, speculation.
I withdraw the question.
And relevant. All right, thank you.
So what happened when Mr. Jones left that locker room, you have no personal knowledge of what he said, do you?
No, I do not. You mean as far as me hearing him personally?
Sir?
Yes.
Mr. Hall, you're still very close to the Pata family, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
In fact, at the memorial service, you made a vow.
Objection relevant.
I think that it's extremely relevant.
Allow it for a little intro.
You made a vow that you would do whatever you could to make sure they were good, didn't you?
Yeah, like if they needed me, you know, health-wise, financially, whatever I can do to be of assistance.
You consider yourself in this testimony a part of the puzzle piece. Isn't that correct?
Say that?
You consider your testimony here a part of the puzzle piece, as you characterized it.
Objection, confusing outside the scope.
I'll allow her to rephrase it.
One moment to convert Your Honor. Your Honor, and so that the record is clear, I'll withdraw my last question. But Mr. Howell, after this gun incident, you were still friendly with Mr. Jones,
Yes, sir.
and you didn't have any fear of him at that time after that?
No.
And there was nothing that was done in furtherance of anything else. Is that correct?
Correct.
Or no further questions, Your Honor?
All right, thank you. Your excuse, have a good afternoon, please.
Your Honor,
I'm sorry, redirect. I apologize. You're not yet. You will be sent.
I got one, but I'm not too much. Mr. Howell, so in the fall of 2004, how long had you been living in Miami?
Approximately a year.
Had you heard more slang and gotten to know different cultures once you joined the football team?
Yes, sir.
Did your fellow teammates come from different backgrounds?
Yes, I did.
So when you were talking about the knowledge of flip up and being common knowledge, at that time, was that something where you immediately knew what it meant?
Yes.
Had you heard other teammates tell each other to clip up for any reason?
No.
Was it surprising when Rashaun said this to Bryan?
Yes, sir.
And now, going to Bryan, did you know Bryan to be a member of Zopound?
No.
Did you know what Zopound was?
I just knew of like I've heard the name, you know, and like the actual like I guess it would say like they do video music and stuff. So I've heard of things, you know, about it like in that reference.
Did you know Bryan to be like affiliated with them?
No, not at all.
When you heard get your Zos and clip up, did you take it to mean Zopound?
I didn't take it to mean Zopound at all. I took it meaning like whoever you cool with, his family.
would you have known if he was a member of a gang
Absolutely.
or loosely affiliated with a gang?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, going to defense counsel's questions about Detective Segovia asking you about these incidents years later, did any of the other detectives specifically ask you about these incidents?
I don't recall. It's just been so long.
If you hadn't been asked specific questions about incidents involving Rashaun Jones, would you have just brought it up?
No.
When Bryan was murdered, did you believe it could be a teammate?
Not at all.
Would, at that time, not believing it was a teammate, would these altercations with Rashaun and Bryan been like on the top of your mind to tell the police?
No, not at all. I specifically, said to myself, I kept racking my brain pretty much with what it could have been and who could have done it. I even recall in one of the interviews that I did early on where they mentioned Rashaun, and I immediately was like, I don't think so. Obviously I thought about him being a friend as far as, teammate. And just didn't think that whatever they had before would have escalated to that extent. So that's why I was like furthest from my mind.
And going back to the incident in the locker room, at that time, this is the fall of 2006,
2005.
2005, sorry. At the time of that incident, did you know that Rashaun had a gun?
Yes, ma'am.
Because he'd shown it to you or assaulted you the year before?
Yes, ma'am.
And when the girl on the track team came back and told you the phrase flip up